Princess Vera stood tall on the command bridge of her flagship, the Starbreaker. Her purple skin gleamed under the bright lights, and her 4 eyes scanned the vast display screens showing the star map before her. The Kethran Empire stretched across hundreds of systems, and she was heir to all of it. But first, she needed to prove herself worthy. "Princess, we are approaching the human border," announced Commander Kex, her military advisor. His voice carried the respect due to royalty, but Vera could hear the excitement beneath it. This would be their first real military action together. Vera turned to face the massive viewing window. Beyond it, space looked empty and peaceful. But she knew better. Somewhere out there, in the darkness between stars, lay her chance for glory. The Kethran Empire had been watching humanity for several cycles now. These strange creatures had appeared from nowhere, spreading across nearby star systems with surprising speed. They built cities on worlds that other species found too harsh. They sent their ships into dangerous areas that even experienced space travelers avoided. Most curious of all, they seemed to have no fear. "Tell me about our target again," Vera commanded, walking to the central command chair. The chair was built for Kethran royalty, with supports for her 4 arms and a headrest that accommodated her elongated skull. Commander Kex activated his data pad. "New Terra, Princess. A human border world with minimal defenses. Our intelligence agents report only basic settlements and perhaps 1 small ship. The humans use this world to train their young explorers before they venture into deeper space." 1 ship? Vera raised her eyebrows. "What kind of ship?" "A scout vessel, Princess. 12 crew members at most. Old technology by our standards. No heavy weapons, basic shields, simple design. Our analysts believe it is what humans call an exploration craft." Vera smiled, showing her sharp white teeth. "Perfect." The Imperial Council had been pressuring her to demonstrate military leadership. Her father, Emperor Thane, wanted proof that she could command forces in battle before naming her official heir. A quick victory against humans would silence her critics. "How many ships do we have?" she asked. 200 vessels, Princess. 50 heavy cruisers, 100 destroyers, and 50 support ships. Each vessel carries plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, and reinforced energy shields. We also have the new gravitational disruptors that can tear apart enemy hulls." Vera nodded with satisfaction. 200 ships against 1. The numbers were so overwhelming that this could barely be called a battle. More like a demonstration of Kethran's superiority. "Princess," interrupted Science Officer Yuna from her station, "I am detecting some unusual readings from the human world." "What kind of readings?" Yuna's 3-fingered hands danced across her control panel. "The planetary settlements show advanced power signatures. More advanced than our intelligence suggested. And there are communication arrays that seem quite sophisticated." Commander Kex frowned. "Our spies have been watching this system for months. How could they miss advanced technology?" "Perhaps the humans hide their capabilities well," Yuna suggested. "Or perhaps they have been upgrading their defenses recently." Vera waved a dismissive hand. "It does not matter. Even if they have better technology than expected, we still outnumber them 200 to 1. No amount of advanced equipment can overcome such odds." The fleet moved through space like a metal storm. Each ship was a masterpiece of Kethran engineering, built with the finest materials and equipped with weapons that could crack planets. The Starbreaker led them all, its hull gleaming with ceremonial markings that showed the royal family's power. "Princess, we are receiving a transmission from the advanced scouts," reported Communications Officer Zed. "They have visual contact with the human vessel." "Show me." The main screen shifted to display an image from one of their scout ships. There, floating peacefully near New Terra, was a human vessel. Vera studied it carefully. The ship looked small and simple compared to Kethran designs. Its hull was smooth metal with basic markings. No visible weapon ports. No threatening appearance. It looked more like a cargo transport than a military vessel. That is their defense. Vera laughed. One tiny ship with no apparent weapons. It appears so, Princess, Kex replied. Our sensors show basic power readings, minimal shield strength, and what seem to be simple scanning equipment. This will be easier than we thought. Vera stood and walked to the viewing window. Her fleet filled the space around her flagship like a constellation of deadly stars. Each ship carried enough firepower to level a city. Together, they could turn entire worlds into ash and dust. Contact the human vessel, she ordered. Let us give them a chance to surrender before we destroy them. Communications Officer Zed worked at his station for several moments. Princess, I am having trouble establishing a clear connection. The human communication system uses different frequencies than ours. Try harder. I want to see their faces when they realize their situation. More time passed as Zed adjusted his equipment. Finally, he looked up with success. Connection established, Princess. Audio and visual. The main screen flickered, then showed the interior of the human ship. Vera had seen images of humans before, but this was her first live contact. The creature sitting in what appeared to be the captain's chair looked small and fragile. It had only 2 arms, 2 eyes, and pale skin. Its hair was brown and short. Despite controlling the only thing standing between her fleet and the human world, the creature appeared calm. This is Captain Sam of the exploration vessel River Wind, the human said. Its voice was steady and clear. You are approaching human territory. Please state your intentions. Vera stepped forward so the human could see her clearly. She wanted this creature to understand exactly who it was facing. I am Princess Vera of the Kethran Empire. You are looking at 200 of our finest warships. Your pathetic little world is now under Imperial authority. Surrender immediately and we will allow you to live as our servants. The human called Sam tilted its head slightly, as if considering her words. Princess Vera, I appreciate your honesty about your intentions. However, I need to inform you that you are making a serious mistake. Vera's 4 eyes widened in surprise. This tiny creature, facing impossible odds, was telling her that she was making a mistake. The bridge crew behind her began to murmur among themselves. A mistake? Vera asked. I have 200 ships. You have 1. Explain to me exactly what mistake I am making. Captain Sam leaned forward slightly. Princess, I strongly recommend that you turn your fleet around and leave human space immediately. I am willing to escort you safely to the border to ensure no incidents occur. The bridge of the Star Breaker fell completely silent. No one could believe what they had just heard. This human was offering to escort them safely away, as if the Kethran fleet was in danger. Commander Kex was the first to recover from shock. Princess, the creature must be insane. No rational being could face our fleet and offer us safe passage. Vera stared at the screen. The human's expression had not changed. It showed no fear, no panic, no recognition of the hopeless situation. Instead, Captain Sam waited patiently for her response, like a teacher waiting for a student to understand an important lesson. Human, Vera said slowly, do you understand that I can destroy your ship with a single command? Do you comprehend that my weapons can turn your world into burning rock? I understand that you believe that, Princess, Captain Sam replied. But I also understand things that you do not. I am trying to prevent a tragedy here. What tragedy? Your destruction will take only minutes. Captain Sam sighed, a very human sound that somehow conveyed both sadness and patience. Princess Vera, the tragedy I am trying to prevent is not the destruction of my ship. We knew the risks when we chose to explore space. The tragedy I want to prevent is what will happen to your people if this conflict continues. Vera felt a chill run through her body. Something about the human's tone was deeply unsettling. It spoke not with the desperation of someone facing death, but with the concerned voice of someone trying to help a friend avoid danger. "You dare to threaten the Kethran Empire?" she demanded. "I am not threatening anyone, Princess. I am trying to warn you. Turn your ships around and leave. Please. For your sake and the sake of your people." The communication ended abruptly as Captain Sam cut the connection. Vera stared at the blank screen, her mind racing. In all her studies of military history, she had never encountered anything like this. Enemies begged for mercy or fought with desperate fury. They did not calmly offer safe passage to vastly superior forces. "Princess," Commander Keck said quietly, "perhaps the human has some hidden weapon. A planetary defense system we cannot detect." Science Officer Yuna checked her instruments. "Negative. I show no weapon signatures from the planet or the ship. No hidden fleets, no defensive satellites, no energy buildup that would suggest a trap." "Then the creature is simply insane," Vera decided. "Prepare for attack. Target their engines first. I want to disable them and board their ship. I need to understand what makes them so confident." But even as she gave the orders, Princess Vera could not shake the feeling that she was missing something important. The human's warning echoed in her mind. Not a threat, but a genuine attempt to protect her from some danger she could not see. What did they know that she did not? The Kethran fleet moved into attack formation, their weapons charging and shields activating. The human ship remained motionless, making no attempt to flee or fight. On her command bridge, Princess Vera prepared to learn exactly why 12 human explorers showed no fear when facing 200 warships. She was about to discover that some lessons come with a terrible price. Princess Vera raised her hand, ready to give the attack command. Around her, the bridge crew waited in tense silence. 200 Kethran warships hung in space like a mechanical storm, their weapons charged and targeting systems locked onto the small human vessel. "All ships report ready, Princess," Commander Kex announced. "Weapons are charged, shields are at maximum power. The target cannot escape." Vera looked at the human ship on her screen. The river wind floated peacefully near New Terra, showing no signs of preparing for battle. No weapons extending, no shield strengthening, no attempt to flee. Captain Sam and his crew of 12 seemed to be waiting for something. "Princess," Science Officer Yuna called from her station, "I am still detecting unusual readings from their vessel. Their power systems are running at levels that should not be possible for a ship of that size." "What kind of power levels?" Vera asked. Yuna frowned at her instruments. "According to my readings, their main reactor is producing energy equivalent to one of our heavy cruisers. But their ship is only 1/10 the size. The power density should cause their systems to overload." Commander Keck stepped closer to Yuna's station. "Are your instruments malfunctioning?" "I have run 3 complete diagnostic checks. My equipment is functioning perfectly. The readings are accurate but impossible." Vera waved her hand dismissively. "Whatever technology they have, it will not help them against our numbers. Begin the attack. Target their engines first." "Yes, Princess," Kex replied. He activated the fleet communication system. "All ships, commence attack pattern Alpha. Target the human vessel's propulsion systems. Disable but do not destroy." The space around New Terra suddenly blazed with light. 50 heavy cruisers fired their plasma cannons simultaneously, sending streams of superheated energy toward the human ship. The beams were perfectly aimed, calculated to disable the river wind without destroying it completely. But the human ship moved. In the instant before the plasma beams reached their target, the river wind shifted sideways with impossible speed and precision. The movement was not like anything Vera had ever seen. Kethran ships turned slowly, their massive hulls requiring time to change direction. Human ships, according to their intelligence, used similar technology and should have similar limitations. The river wind moved like water flowing around an obstacle. Smooth, instant, and perfectly controlled. All 50 plasma beams passed harmlessly through the space where the ship had been a moment before. What just happened? Vera demanded. Keck stared at his tactical display in confusion. Princess, their ship moved faster than our targeting computers predicted. The reaction time should have been impossible. Fire again. All weapons. This time, 100 ships opened fire together. Plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, and gravitational disruptors filled the space around the human vessel with enough destructive force to crack a small moon. Surely nothing could avoid such a massive attack. The human ship danced through the destruction like it was performing an elaborate ceremony. Every movement was precise and deliberate. Plasma beams passed within meters of its hull without touching it. Quantum torpedoes exploded harmlessly in empty space as the ship flowed around them. The gravitational disruptors, which should have locked onto their target and crushed it, found nothing to grip. "This is impossible," Yuna whispered, watching her instruments with wide eyes. "No ship can move like that. The physics do not work." Vera gripped the arms of her command chair. "Keep firing. It has to make a mistake eventually." But the human ship did not make mistakes. As the Kethran fleet continued their barrage, the river wind began to move in a different pattern. Instead of simply avoiding their attacks, it started positioning itself in specific locations around the battlefield. "Princess," Communications Officer Zed called out, "the human ship is sending some kind of signal. Not to us, but to something else." "What kind of signal?" "I cannot decode it. The transmission is very brief and highly compressed. It repeats every few seconds." Commander Keck studied his tactical display with growing alarm. "Princess, I think I understand what they are doing. Look at their movement pattern." Vera turned her attention to the battle map. The human ship was not moving randomly to avoid their attacks. It was following a precise path that took it to specific coordinates around her fleet. Each position it reached seemed carefully chosen. "They are mapping us," she realized. "They are studying our attack patterns and fleet formation." "But why?" Kex asked. "What can they learn that will help them against 200 ships?" The answer came in the form of 12 small objects launched from the human vessel. They were tiny compared to the massive Kethran warships, each no bigger than a personal transport. But as they spread out through space, Vera felt a growing sense of unease. "What are those?" she demanded. Yuna worked frantically at her station. "They appear to be some kind of projectile. Simple kinetic design, no explosive warheads, no energy weapons. Just solid metal moving very fast. 12 projectiles against 200 ships." Vera laughed, but the sound felt forced. "They must be desperate." The first projectile reached its target, one of her destroyer ships on the fleet's outer edge. Instead of striking the hull where the shields were strongest, the small object seemed to find a tiny gap between two shield generators. It passed through the defensive barrier like it did not exist and struck the destroyer at a specific point near the engine section. The destroyer exploded. Not damaged, not disabled. Completely destroyed in a brilliant flash of light and metal fragments. "How?" Commander Keck stared at his display in disbelief. "One small projectile cannot destroy a warship." The second projectile struck another destroyer. Again, it found an impossible gap in the shields and hit at exactly the right point to cause a cascade failure in the ship's power systems. The destroyer died in seconds. Then the third. And the fourth. Vera watched in growing horror as 12 small projectiles destroyed 12 of her ships with surgical precision. Each strike found weaknesses that should have been impossible to detect from outside the vessels. Each hit caused maximum damage with minimum force. "They know our ship designs," she whispered. "They know exactly where to hit us." But that was not the worst part. As her destroyers died around her, Vera began to notice something else about the human ship's movement. The river wind was not just avoiding their attacks anymore. It was predicting them. All ships, changed to attack pattern beta, Kex commanded, trying to regain control of the battle. Before the Kethran ships could adjust their formation, the human vessel had already moved to counter the new pattern. It positioned itself exactly where it needed to be to avoid the incoming attacks, as if it had known what orders Kex would give before he gave them. Try pattern Gamma, Vera ordered. Same result. The human ship was already in motion before her fleet could execute the maneuver. Pattern Delta. Again, the river wind seemed to know their plans in advance. Science Officer Yuna looked up from her station with fear in her 4 eyes. Princess, I think I know what is happening. The signals the human ship has been sending. They are not random communications. What are they? Data transfers. Massive amounts of tactical information being processed and analyzed faster than our computers can track. They are running battle simulations in real time, predicting our moves before we make them. Commander Kex turned pale. No computer system can process data that quickly. The calculations would require quantum processors more advanced than anything we possess. Unless, Yuna said quietly, their technology is far more advanced than we realized. More human projectiles launched from the river wind. This time, there were 24 of them. Vera watched in helpless fury as they spread out through her fleet like deadly insects, each one finding its target with impossible accuracy. 24 more ships died. Princess, her fleet captain's voice came through the communication system, we are taking heavy casualties. Request permission to retreat and regroup. No. Vera shouted. We outnumber them still. All ships, focus fire on their exact position. They cannot dodge if we cover every possible escape route. Her remaining ships, nearly 150 vessels, turned their weapons toward the human ship and fired everything they had. The space around the river wind became a furnace of plasma and energy. No ship could survive in that inferno. But when the light faded and the energy dissipated, the human vessel was gone. Where did they go? Vera demanded. Unknown, Princess, Yuna replied, scanning frantically. They simply vanished from our sensors. Ships do not just vanish. Find them. The answer came from behind her fleet. The river wind had somehow appeared on the opposite side of the battlefield, impossibly far from where it had been moments before. As Vera watched, it launched another wave of projectiles. 36 of her ships died in the next attack. They can teleport, Commander Kex said in a hollow voice. They have technology that allows instant movement across space. Vera felt her confidence crumbling like sand in a storm. Her magnificent fleet, the pride of the Kethran Empire, was being systematically destroyed by a single exploration vessel. 12 humans were outfighting 200 ships with ease. Princess, Communications Officer Zed called out, I am receiving a transmission from the human ship. Captain Sam appeared on the main screen again. The human looked exactly as calm as before, showing no signs of stress or excitement despite the battle raging around them. Princess Vera, Captain Sam said, I tried to warn you. It is not too late to stop this. Order your ships to retreat, and I will allow them to leave safely. You will allow them? Vera screamed. I have over 100 ships left. You are just 12 people. Yes, Captain Sam agreed sadly. Just 12 people. But Princess, you need to understand something. We are not soldiers. We are explorers, scientists, and engineers. This is not even a military vessel. The words hit Vera like a physical blow. Not military. The River Wind is an exploration ship. Our weapons are mining tools. Our computers are designed for scientific research. Our crew has basic defense training, nothing more. Captain Sam paused, letting that information sink in. If 12 human civilians can do this to your fleet, Princess, what do you think will happen when our actual military arrives? Vera felt ice form in her stomach. Your military. We sent out a distress call when your fleet first appeared. Standard procedure when encountering hostile aliens. A full battle fleet is already on its way here. They will arrive in approximately 6 hours. Commander Kex leaned close to Vera's ear. Princess, if this is what their civilians can do, we cannot face their military. We must retreat immediately. But Vera was no longer listening to her advisors. She stared at the screen where Captain Sam waited patiently for her response. Behind the human, she could see other crew members working at their stations. They looked young and peaceful, like students at a university rather than warriors. Students who had just destroyed half of her fleet without breaking a sweat. How many ships are coming? She asked quietly. The standard response to an alien incursion is 50 vessels, Captain Sam replied. But given the size of your fleet, they may send additional support. 50 human military ships. If 12 civilians in an exploration vessel could do this much damage, what would 50 purpose-built warships accomplish? Vera imagined her entire fleet reduced to glowing debris in a matter of minutes. Princess, Captain Sam continued, I am still willing to escort your ships safely out of human space. No one else has to die today. Vera looked around her bridge at her crew. Commander Kex, Science Officer Yuna, Communications Officer Zed, and dozens of others who had served her loyally. They were all staring at her, waiting for orders that could save or doom them all. She had come seeking glory and found only horror. The easy victory she had planned had become a nightmare of impossible technology and tactical superiority. Worse, she was beginning to understand that everything she knew about humans was wrong. Terribly, catastrophically wrong. Princess Vera stared at the tactical display showing her remaining ships scattered across the battlefield. 67 vessels destroyed by 12 human civilians. The numbers made no sense. Nothing in Kethran military history had prepared her for this kind of impossible defeat. Princess, Commander Kex said quietly, we must make a decision. Do we continue fighting or accept their offer of safe passage? Vera could not answer immediately. Her mind raced through everything she had witnessed. The human ship moving like it defied the laws of physics. Weapons that found impossible weaknesses in Kethran armor. Computer systems that predicted their every move before they made it. And most disturbing of all, the calm confidence of Captain Sam, who spoke like someone trying to help rather than someone fighting for survival. Get me Chief Intelligence Analyst now, she commanded. I need answers before I make any decisions. Communications Officer Zed worked at his station. Connecting you to the Intelligence Division, Princess. The screen changed to show Chief Analyst Nal aboard one of the support vessels. His elderly face looked tired, but his 4 eyes were alert and focused. Behind him, other intelligence officers worked frantically at computer terminals. Princess Vera, Nal said with a formal bow of his head, I assume you want an explanation for what we have witnessed. I want to know how 12 humans destroyed 67 of our ships. I want to know how they can predict our tactics. I want to know why they move like they control the laws of space itself. Vera's voice grew louder with each demand. And I want to know why no one in our intelligence division warned me about any of this. Nal looked uncomfortable. Princess, our analysis of human capabilities was based on observations of their border settlements and civilian transport vessels. We had no opportunity to study their more advanced technology. This is their advanced technology. Vera gestured at the screen showing the human exploration ship. This simple vessel represents their best capabilities. No, Princess. Nal's voice became very quiet. That is the problem. We have been monitoring human communications since the battle began, trying to understand their capabilities. What we discovered is far worse than losing ships to superior technology. Science Officer Yuna looked up from her station. What did you discover? Chief Analyst Nal activated a data display behind him. We intercepted communications between the human exploration ship and their command structure. The conversation was not encrypted because they did not consider it sensitive information. Show me, Vera demanded. The display screen filled with a translated text of human communications. Vera read the words with growing disbelief. River Wind to Terra Command, contact with hostile alien fleet. Approximately 200 vessels. Requesting standard defensive authorization. Terra Command to River Wind, authorization granted. Maintain minimum force protocols. Avoid unnecessary casualties. River Wind to Terra Command, understood. Will attempt peaceful resolution first. Vera stared at the text. Minimum force protocols. They consider what they did to us minimum force. It gets worse, Princess, Null continued. We also intercepted their damage assessment reports. The humans are disappointed with their performance. Disappointed? Another communication appeared on the screen. River Wind to Terra Command, engagement complete. Enemy fleet neutralized with 67 vessels destroyed, remainder withdrawing. Performance below optimal due to crew inexperience with combat operations. Recommend additional training for exploration teams. Commander Kex read the message twice before speaking. They think their performance was poor. They destroyed over half our fleet and consider it a failure. Chief Analyst Null nodded grimly. The communication logs indicate that experienced human civilian crews would have disabled our entire fleet without destroying a single ship. They wanted to capture our vessels intact for study, but lack of combat experience forced them to use more destructive methods. Vera felt the deck seem to shift beneath her feet. You are telling me that an inexperienced crew performed better against us than our best military units would perform against each other? That appears correct, Princess. But there is more. Null activated another display showing intercepted technical data. We managed to analyze some of their equipment signatures during the battle. The human ship's computers are processing tactical information at rates that exceed our most powerful military systems by factors of hundreds. How is that possible? We do not know. Their technology operates on principles we do not understand. But Princess, the truly frightening discovery is not about their technology. Then what? It is about their numbers. Null brought up a new set of data. We have been analyzing human territory based on their communication networks and shipping routes. Our previous estimates of their population and military size were catastrophically wrong. The display showed a map of known space with human territory marked in red. Vera had expected to see a small cluster of systems near their border. Instead, the red area stretched across hundreds of star systems, covering a region larger than the entire Kethran Empire. This cannot be accurate, she whispered. We have verified the data multiple times. The humans control over 400 star systems with a total population exceeding 50 billion individuals. Their exploration and colonization programs are expanding into new territory every month. Commander Keck studied the map with growing alarm. How many military ships do they have? Based on their communication patterns and logistics networks, we estimate approximately 10,000 active military vessels. Plus an unknown number of reserve and civilian ships that can be converted for combat use. Vera's legs felt weak. She sat down heavily in her command chair. 10,000 ships against our entire navy of 3,000 vessels. Princess, Null continued relentlessly, there is something else. We monitored their response to our attack. The human military is dispatching what they call a minor patrol squadron to investigate the incident. 50 ships with orders to establish peaceful contact if possible. 50 ships is minor to them? Apparently. The communication logs suggest that a major military response would involve thousands of vessels. They are treating our attack as a small border incident, not a significant military threat. Science Officer Yuna looked up from her instruments with new readings. Princess, I am detecting multiple energy signatures approaching our position. The human reinforcements are arriving early. The main viewing screen shifted to show space near New Terra. Ships were emerging from what appeared to be empty vacuum, materializing like ghosts becoming solid. Vera counted 10 vessels, then 20, then 30. Each ship was larger and more heavily armed than the exploration vessel that had destroyed most of her fleet. "How many are there?" she asked. 50 ships confirmed, Yuna replied. Each one significantly more advanced than the civilian vessel we encountered. Princess Vera watched the human military fleet arrange itself in perfect formation around her scattered forces. Unlike the chaotic aftermath of battle, these ships moved with precision and coordination that spoke of extensive training and experience. Their weapons remained powered down, but she could see the potential for destruction in every line of their hulls. "Princess," Communications Officer Zed announced, "we are receiving a transmission from the human fleet commander." A new human appeared on the main screen. This one wore a dark blue uniform with various insignia that suggested military rank. Unlike Captain Sam's peaceful demeanor, this human projected authority and controlled power. "I am Admiral Chen of the Terran Defense Force," the human said formally. "Princess Vera, you have attacked a civilian exploration vessel in human territory. This constitutes an act of war against the Terran Federation." Vera found her voice. "Admiral Chen, there has been a misunderstanding. We did not realize we were attacking civilians." "Ignorance is not an excuse for aggression, Princess. However, Captain Sam has requested that we offer you an opportunity to withdraw peacefully. Against my better judgment, I am willing to honor that request. What are your terms?" Admiral Chen's expression remained stern. "Full withdrawal of all Kethran forces from human territory. Immediate cessation of hostile activities. Establishment of formal diplomatic channels to prevent future incidents. And if we refuse? Then we will demonstrate why the Terran Defense Force exists." The Admiral paused, his meaning clear. "Princess, Captain Sam's exploration team showed remarkable restraint in dealing with your attack. My crews are trained for combat, not scientific research. The outcome would be very different." Vera looked around her bridge at her remaining officers. Commander Kex nodded silently, indicating his support for whatever decision she made. Science Officer Yuna continued monitoring the human fleet, her instruments showing power readings that dwarfed anything in Kethran space. Communications Officer Zed waited for orders that could save or doom what remained of her fleet. Chief Analyst Null appeared on a secondary screen. "Princess, I recommend immediate acceptance of their terms. Our analysis shows no possibility of military victory against human forces. Based on what we have seen today," Vera said slowly, "I believe you are correct." She turned back to Admiral Chen. "We accept your terms. All Kethran ships will withdraw immediately from human space." "Wise choice, Princess. Captain Sam will escort your fleet to the border as originally offered. I trust there will be no further incidents." The communication ended, leaving Vera alone with her thoughts and the bitter taste of total defeat. She had come to human space seeking an easy victory to prove her worth as heir to the Kethran Empire. Instead, she had discovered that humanity represented an existential threat to every known civilization. "All ships," she commanded through the fleet communication system, "prepare for immediate withdrawal. Follow the escort instructions from the human civilian vessel." As her battered fleet began moving toward the edge of human territory, Vera thought about the reports she would have to give to her father and the Imperial Council. How could she explain that 12 human civilians had defeated 200 Kethran warships? How could she make them understand that they had accidentally declared war on a species that could destroy their entire empire without significant effort? "Princess," Commander Keck said quietly, "what will you tell the Emperor?" "The truth," she replied. "That we have encountered a species so far beyond our capabilities that we must never, under any circumstances, provoke them again." "Will the Imperial Council believe such a report?" Vera watched the human exploration ship take position at the head of her fleet, ready to guide them safely home like a shepherd protecting lost animals. "They will have to believe it. Our survival depends on it." The river wind led the retreating Kethran fleet through space with the same calm efficiency it had shown in battle. Captain Sam's voice came through the communication system occasionally, providing course corrections and updates on their progress. The human spoke with the polite professionalism of someone helping lost travelers, not defeated enemies. As they approached the border between human and Kethran space, Vera realized that this experience had changed her forever. She had entered human territory as a proud princess seeking military glory. She was leaving as someone who understood how small and fragile her people truly were in a universe containing humanity. "Princess," Science Officer Yuna reported, "we are crossing the border into Kethran space. All ships, maintain formation until we reach safe distance," Vera commanded. Captain Sam's voice came through the speakers one final time. "Princess Vera, you are now in Kethran territory. Safe travels. And Princess, I hope this incident will lead to better understanding between our peoples in the future." The communication ended as the human exploration ship turned away and vanished into the darkness between stars. Vera was left with her surviving fleet and the knowledge that everything the Kethran Empire believed about their place in the galaxy was wrong. They were not the dominant military power they had imagined. They were not even a significant threat to humanity. They were simply another species sharing space with beings so advanced that a group of civilian scientists could defeat their finest military units while expressing disappointment in their own performance. Princess Vera began composing her report to Emperor Thane, searching for words to describe the most important and terrifying discovery in Kethran history. Humanity was not just another alien species to be conquered or dominated. They were the reason the Kethran Empire needed to learn humility, diplomacy, and peace. The alternative was extinction.